Welcome to Sunday Stitch. Today's topic is provisional cast-ons, and we're going to make this type of provisional cast-on starting with a crochet base chain using our waste yarn. This is my working yarn. It's worsted weight, and I'm going to use as my waste yarn something that's chunky weight and in a contrasting color to give me big, loose, puffy places to start my stitches in. I just think that makes it a lot easier. Before I start my crochet chain, I always tie in a square knot. That's it's like a marker. It's going to tell me which end I don't want to pull later on. Just mark this end in some way and then forget about it and start with a regular slip knot and make your crochet chain. You will need at least one crochet chain stitch for every knitted provisional cast-on stitch. Trust me, make your life easier and crochet more than you need. Don't start your provisional cast on at the very edge of this base chain. Start a few stitches in and the whole piece will be a lot easier to work with. So once it's long enough, I'm going to say that's pretty good. Take my last loop, draw it up nice and big, take the hook and put it down because you don't need it anymore. Now we're going to use this crochet base as a foundation for doing pick up and knit stitches. Normally when you're crocheting, you keep your eye on, you keep this oriented to the front of your chain, but for us we need the back. And specifically we need these individual bumps. They form a ridge or a spine right down the middle of the chain. Go through each one. See how I like to start a few in from the edge? Yeah, just less fiddly that way. And do pick up and knit. One through each of those ridges, of those ridge bumps on the back. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make it as long as you need. Then you can start knitting as usual in pattern, whatever it calls for. I'm just going to do a couple rows of garter stitch here. Tighten that one down, turn, work one more row. Just something to give it a little bit of stability before I pull this crochet chain out and show you how to pick up the stitches that reveal themselves on the opposite end. Okay, now let's imagine that we have knitted a whole piece. Let's say a whole headband. Once it's long enough, you're going to pull this crochet chain out. But if you start pulling on the end that I tied the square knot with, which was for my tail, it doesn't pull out. You have to pull from the other end. 2, 3, there's my knitted tail. And there is my first live stitch right here that's going to come free. Second one. If you're like me, you're kind of paranoid about these falling or twisting or getting lost in the mix, so I pull 2 or 3 free, and then I stick the needle in, and then I pull the next set free, and then I catch them. And this last one, that one's twisted. pinch and drag the crochet waist yarn out. And then catch it. So now you have live stitches on each side of your knitted piece, and that's the whole point of a provisional cast on, so that you can work this direction or you can work in this direction or both. Enjoy!